two female students were unceremoniously expelled from their school by an overzealous, arrogant prick of a principal by the name of Joseph Williams. And this has been all over the news media. And I'm not ashamed to tell you that I cried when I saw it. I just broke down when I saw it. And so today, we are going to look at the principalship of Mr. Joseph Williams, principal of the St. James High School in the parish of St. James. We are going to go deep into his behavior and his activities at the school, and I'm going to tell you about this man. We're going to talk about everything, and I'm not holding anything back in terms of the information that I have on that man and what he has done. Hello everyone, Karen Cecilia here. Is everyone suffering from the heat? I hope you all are, because I am. And misery love company. It's hot, isn't it? Yeah, but it's a great day. I want to also use this medium. I put it on social media already. I put it on my Facebook page. But I want to also say it again, that I applaud the Prime Minister, who I am proud to call my Member of Parliament, if for no time else, just for this, on his stance on the conflict in the Gaza between Israel and the Palestinians, and how he has moved our country in a historical position by sending out that communique to say that we recognize the Palestinians, and we recognize that they should have their statehood and they should be treated fairly. We are not against Israel. We are not. We believe that Israel have undergone a lot of pressure over many moons, and Israel should have their statehood, but so does the Palestinians. And I want to applaud the PM for that. I'm going to have a lot more to say on that at some point. But today we just want to talk about Mr. Joseph Williams. Him we want to talk about today. Principal of the St. James High School. He has been at the school for about 20 years, I understand. When I listened to the clip where the mother spoke to Cliff Hughes, and I must commend Cliff Hughes. It's not very often I can commend Cliff Hughes, because I do believe he's a political operative, and film journalism is something else other than just plain straight old journalism. But I have enormous respect for the mainstream press, and I believe that the press should be treated with the same kind of respect that we want to treat our Constitution, and recognize that they're a part of all of that, in spite of their individual flaws. But then nobody's perfect. The press and politics is millennials of many years, millenniums actually, of a fraught relationship between the press, politics, and the ordinary people. But I do believe our press, our Jamaican press, in spite of the all that they are guilty of, I do believe that they sometimes step up to the plate and they bat for the right thing. And I really want to commend Cliff for talking to the mother and speaking to her the way he did, and the questions that he asked her, and it was such a compassionate kind of thing. And some people were vexed that I do that, but I want to big him up for that. And the mother was called in to the school after one thing, and here's this thing that happened. Soon get to what happened, but she was called in, as well as the other mother. Both mothers were called in, because there's two young ladies. And Mr. Williams had this meeting with the two mothers, and the meeting lasted less than 5 minutes, because in the meeting him just simply tell them, expel on the pit them, go on home with them, don't want them back here, go on home with them. Nothing. No due course, no recourse, no guidance counselor, no send it to the board, no having a meeting with the Parents and Guidance Council, please pardon me, no, nothing, no following absolutely no rules, following no precedent. Him just dismiss the parents and send home the picnic them. No matter what you might have heard about the picnic them going home, and they after a month, well, the mother did say that. And while that is true, that also is true, he has a history of doing this. He has a history of saying that the board too slow. And he has a history of doing these things because he has been allowed to do it and get away with it. He just told the parents he don't want them there. And they should find another school for their children. And then he walked out. What did they say the girls did? At first, the report was that there was a video. That was the first report. A video that the two girls were kissing. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Now, what actually happened, it wasn't a video. It was a GIF that they did. They engaged in youthful teenage social media prank. They made a GIF where they kissed. So what? Do we understand that our young people in school and the young people on social media is at a different level of social media than us old fogies? Do we understand that their level of engaging with social media is way above ours? Way above ours. I mean, we don't begin to understand some of the things they put out. But they are teenagers. They are the most dangerous species on the face of the earth. Teenagers. You can't win with them. You just can't. So they made this GIF. It was not a video. It was not something that went viral. It was not something that everybody knew about. But hell, half the school, 3/4 of the school never knew about it before the news media carried it. People were asking who. It was that thing that was well known in school. Why is it important to say that? It's important to say that it was not well known in the school, because when something like this happens, it can affect school life of the general school population. So if it's viral, if it's well known, if it's all over the place, if it's going on and creating all kind of unwanted attention to the school body and the student body and people are offended, no, that's a different matter. Total different matter that would have been. But it was not. So none of that happened. Hardly anybody knew about it. It was innocent and it did not break any school rules. Now, as a person who have schooled 17 children, they give you this little booklet at school on the first morning of high school. They give you this booklet. Every school that I have been through with these kids gave this booklet. Arden gave this booklet. Only Childhood gave you this booklet. Meadowbrook High gave you this booklet. Everybody gave you a booklet. And you go through the booklet. It basically talk about how long the uniform should be, how the boys them here should be groomed, how they should be groomed, stuff like that. And what the school will tolerate and will not tolerate. There's nothing in the rule book about social media. At least nothing that I know of. There might be now. There might be now. Let me draw back that, because there might be now. Maybe something in the new rule book about social media. But that would be an infringement on the rights of the children to express themselves on social media. And if parents get any booklet that infringes on the freedom of speech and the freedom of expression through social media by their children, they should protest that. Of course, there can be something to say that a student is not allowed to bring the school into public disrepute through social media. Now that can be understood, and that we can live with that. So the girls didn't break any school rules. Them say it certainly didn't break any law. And that brings us to an innate problem that we have in our country, where parents don't take the time out to find out what their rights are. Because I know for certain, and I say this with every certainty in my bone, that should this have been a mother from Jewsland, the whole Jewsland are down there. All of them other friend them and company them up at Jerusalem. All them other come and tell you what go on, and everybody down at school. Yes, everybody down there. And everybody gone about them business gone on. They can't file to walk one. These people don't take them their rights lightly. The way the matter was handled by Mr. Williams is very typical of Mr. Williams, because this is how he operates. And this is how he has handled matters relating to the school for his 20 plus years that he has been there. All the actions that he has taken over the years has either been... This is the part I want you to listen to me. Everything that he has done, some of which I'm going to say to you right now, either been sanctioned or agreed on by the Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Education. Everything. To the extent that he has reached a pinnacle of his power where he feels he no longer has to include the school board and his teachers and his staff. And sometimes he doesn't even include the ministry, because they have aided him and abetted him for all these years about everything that he has done, that him feel him no longer has to include them too often in his decisions. Him just make those decisions and then everything else has to follow. I kid you not. And I am going to tell you how I know that. He has little or no regard for the school board. Little or no regard for the school board. He very rarely consults with the school board. And the school board, who are named by a combination of the member of parliament and I would imagine some other people involved in it. But it's basically the member of parliament who names the school board. The member of parliament certainly names who's the chairman of the school board. And that would be Mr. Heroy Clark. So Mr. Heroy Clark is a very poor judge, is of character of all those people that he named on the school board that couldn't stand up to a dickhead like this principal. Right? So everything that he did, he doesn't go to the school board, him goes straight to the ministry. And the ministry have granted him permission for every nefarious, nepotistic request that he has made. Every request that he has made, even when the school board question it, he goes over the school board head and he would send it to the ministry. And when I say the ministry, I mean the civil servants. And I don't know who these people are. Whoever the officers are in charge of that region, whoever the people at the ministry are. But it's definitely civil servants. It's not the political people. Mr. Williams is running a corrupt family empire at the St. James High School. A corrupt family empire at the St. James High School. His actions have led to a good number of his staff being labeled by him. Him call them the evil squad. I guess they don't take too much of his crap, so therefore they will be evil. Based on probably them doing an undercover thing and undermine him when they can because of his actions and what he does. That is what you get when you behave the way you do. You're going to have dissent, and people are going to form themselves into a little squad, and them going to the one side chat you and burn bad mind for you and all that kind of thing. So you will get that. Or you call them the evil squad. Principal calling his staff evil squad. Now that squad that he calls the evil squad, I don't like to rename them and call them the patriotic squad. And I want to big them up for standing up to some of his crap. He sidelined the board whenever it pleases him and conclude that he takes action because the board process takes too long. That is his argument all the while. So let's look at some of his nepotism and cronyism that Mr. Williams has engaged in. Mr. Williams' wife wears many hats at the St. James High School. His wife wears many hats at the St. James High School, and I can't imagine how these things were allowed to go on. She was once a vice principal. She's the PTA president and the PTA representative on the board. She's a reading coordinator, and she's also a member of the procurement committee. Let me repeat that for you. The wife of the principal was once a vice principal. Him name her. The minister signed off on it. His wife is the PTA president. I mean, they have children go to school. I think one child that go to the school. But God, man, the nepotism, the cronyism. And she's also the PTA representative on the board. So kind of she's like his eyes and ears on the board. And she basically manipulate the board on his behalf. Her job on the board is to make sure that them don't buck him. And she's also the reading coordinator. And also an high-ranking member of the procurement committee, as well as a senior teacher. One of Mr. Williams' cousin also holds a senior position at the school. Oh yeah. He did not do any of that illegally. None of that took place illegally. He got the permission of the ministry. He submit these things to the ministry after he submit them to the board, and the board tell him no. After him submit them to the board, and the board question whether this should be done, yes or no. When the board said this don't look good, he just go straight over them head and go straight to the ministry, and the ministry approve him wife being vice president, and the ministry approve his wife being PTA representative on the board, and the ministry approve she being reading coordinator, and the ministry approve that she being a member of the procurement committee, and the ministry approve that his cousin who was a senior position at the school. And when the board objects to his cravenness, him just go straight to them and get their permission. I wonder why. No, I'm not saying the minister, Not the minister. Because I spoke to the minister. I am thinking maybe the education officer and civil servants are the ones that have been aiding him in his side hustle of giving every family member that him can find a job. Now, I am a fair person, and it might very well be that these family members are qualified for the work, the job that they got, that they applied for it. It might very well be that they applied for it through normal channels. It might very well be that they are qualified and they work for the school, and it might very well be that, yes, they are doing a good job in whatever position that they hold. It might very well be that. But his mannerism and his character is what would want us now to question those appointments. The things that he has done. I'm not done, You don't think me done? No, man, we have well more things to talk about. I can confidently say that the school board have done most things right. If the school board fails on anything, its failing was simply understanding what its role is and how much power they actually have. That is what the school board fails on, not reading what is it that is their role, not understanding that their role is bigger than his and he's accountable to the school board first, not understanding that their job is not only to protect the ministry and the school, but also protect the students and protect the community that the school operates in. The school board powers are wide. And the feeling that I can find is that they never understood that. Their power was usurped by civil servants in the ministry, and the school board, allowed that to happen. Mr. Williams, a man will beat his staff, beat up people all the while on the compound, almost blinded a groundsman when him juke him in him eye. The groundsman took him to court, and he lost that court case. And when he lost that court case, he had to pay the groundsman $700,000. Of course, he refused to pay the man the money. And guess what happened when he refused to pay that money? The Barnett Street police station arrived at the school compound and handcuffed him and all his ass off the school compound and carried him to jail. Without any qualms they did. And they do express some kind of disgust towards that man. The Barnett Street police station. Them think him is a terrible, horrible individual and have no business being the principal for a high school. Can you imagine that? So that tells me that pretty much a good number of people within St. James understand what is happening down by school and know this man and know how he operates. So they hold nothing but disgust towards him. After they locked him up, after they locked up the principal for not paying the $700,000 fine that the court ordered him to pay, his big friends came together and they paid the money on his behalf. Did I tell you that Mr. Williams son also holds a senior position at the school. Yeah, I didn't tell her that. Oh yeah. So there is his wife, who was once a VP, reading coordinator, member of the board, being the PTA representative of the board, and member of the procurement committee. There's his cousin, who holds a senior position in the school, and then there's his son, who also holds a senior position at the school. It seems to me, based on information that I've gotten, that both Mr. Barnett and the school resources are lifetime friends, because nobody knows where the school resources are. And let me be specific about what I've been told. I've been told that the football field look like a white elephant, because the money for the football field is unknown. The erection of the football field stalled, and the money for the mall for the field went for a walk, and nobody don't know where it ended up, except that some people is suggesting that the mall was dumped at Mrs. Carr Jarrett, and we know who Mrs. Carr Jarrett is, land at Westgate Hills, where there's currently a plaza project being erected there, and there are no documentation for these things. So we could go through again. But they can't find the resources of the school. The money for the football field gone. The mall for the football field end up somewhere else. And Mrs. Carr Jarrett's name is being called on that. And I have no qualms in calling her name. Because more than one, when I get information, I check with more than one source. Including people where I work on the plaza. Yeah? Where, when this mall arrived and where it come from and where them here and what's that. So I check my information. Between 2006 and 2007, I understand from a couple of people that work at the school that 20 tons of steel overnight grew feet and walk off the school compound one early morning, never to be seen again. 20 tons of steel grew feet and walked off the school compound, never to be seen again. It is said that the steel was transported to Mr. Williams' house in Manchester. Principal Williams, the man who expelled people picnic for doing a jiff, man who beat up him staff, thumb people in them eye, thief the people them resources, appoint him wife to various positions, give him cousin a work, give him son a work. And let me say it again. It could very well be that these people are qualified people for the jobs that they got at the school. It could be that. Nobody doesn't seem to know that. So I'm being cautious about that. Maybe his son is a young fellow who's qualified for the job that he holds, but he really shouldn't get it. He really shouldn't be there. It just don't look good. It just don't look good. Now, I spoke to Minister Favour. And I like Minister Favour. And we had a pretty long conversation about the whole matter. And what she said to me is nothing strange. Any Minister of Education would be saying the very same thing. She recently just been made aware of the situation, and that is through the media. Because the school board fell down and never understood what their responsibilities. The school board, while they are trying to fix the matter now, they cannot remain or cannot be said that they are totally of no fault. That can't be true, because they see all of these things, they know all of these things, they have all of this information. Well, some of it. I don't think they have all of it. And it was their duty and responsibility to bring this matter to the minister herself. Because since they make decisions and Mr. Williams got over their head with those decisions and sent on these things to Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Education, whoever the people are, signed off on them, then it was clear that the school board should have acted more prudently and say, all right, and that you're going with, well, we are going to the minister. But the minister was unaware before this thing became known in the news media. Now, in my conversation with the minister, I asked her if she was aware that there was much more things going on. Not these things that I didn't tell her about these things, because I told her that there are some things that has not yet come to light. And I am going to bring them to light, but I want to know if she have any other report of any other wrongdoing. And she said very quickly, no, this is the only thing that she knows. So I'm cutting the minister some slack. I did, however, have a long conversation with the minister about some other things in relating to how schools are managed and how principal act in terms of how they deal with situations like these with the two girls. Which brings me into this realm. And you can't escape this realm. Maybe his first instinct was that these two girls are gay. Maybe. There's nothing in his past or his actions that I have found to suggest that he's homophobic. He's just a horrible moron. He's just a dick. A royal, short, sticky dick. Him have absolutely no sense. The man is a piece of crap. In everything in his life, he's a piece of crap. I can't find nothing good about him to say. I can't find nothing good. I have asked a question. Has he ever been helpful to students? One student asked. Somebody just tell me one. Tell me one student who have gotten into a little bit of bind and him run to the rescue of the student and him go to the people in them yard and him help them parents. Tell me one. Nobody could tell me one. So there's nothing good about this man, which means that him can't stay. The minister, I have said to her that no, there's nothing to suggest that him was acting based on the fact that him think these students are gay. But we have a problem. We have a problem in this country. We have a problem in our schools. There's something that is catching up to us fast and we're better. We listen. Jamaica is in the Stone Age when it comes to same-sex relationships. Jamaica is in the Stone Age, and I am not imposing my beliefs or my lifestyle on anyone. I am simply saying that Jamaica is way behind time and in the Stone Age. And our preachers, and I'm not talking about our priests, because the Pope have made it very clear where he stands on same-sex relationships, and the Pope is a holy man. I'm not talking about the Anglican Church either, because the Archbishop of London, who is the head of the Anglican Church, have made it very clear about the compassion and how the church should handle these matters. So we are clear. So has the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So has the Baptist Church. It is the clapper, nice-making preacher them who love to scare the shit out of poor people to get them money, to tell them all kind of crap about what the Bible say and what the Bible not say, and then them gather the word them in half a tree, and the whole of them up on the stage, and holler and a ball and a go out all kind of things, when there are half a dozen young men or young women in the audience who say, but hold on them, my boy, that will go to a night time. Or no, hold on them, the preacher man that, Lord, look upon him, just look upon her. I'm telling you a conversation that I had with a young fellow who was at the halfway tree thing the last time they did that excitement in halfway tree. And him come back and him say, Lord kindness I see him, like them big dirty girl. Him is a preacher that jump up and go on the sweater run down him body. But me not say nothing, because I there's some little money there. Them there, them me attack, who scaring the hell out of poor people. Our children at any age can learn anything. Children are like sponge. Everything they suck up everything, and even though some things might leave their minds at some point, they are never too young to learn anything. Never too young to learn anything. And the mother of one of the girls, well, the only mother that has spoken, she was very clear that it was a joke. It was some kind of prank or something they were doing for social media stuff. And maybe that's where she wanted to live, and I'm not beating her up on that. But we must understand that she also panicked. She's an ordinary Jamaican woman with a teenage girl who was just seen in a jiff kissing another girl. She panicked. Of course she panicked. Because Jamaican parents tend to panic when these things happen. Because them start wondering, Lord Jesus, Lord of mercy, oh God of mercy, what God, no way, and them start bawl. And them start go out all kind of things. But there's no indication that that was it. But as I said to the minister, It is high time that the politicians muster up the political will to start put together a sensitization program in every school. And I'm going to tell you why they need to do it. It's going to come tumble down on them. Don't put a sensitization, because there are hardly any high school where there is not a number of high school gay people. There is no high school in this country that don't have a significant number of 10th graders, 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders with same-sex relationships or same-sex experimentation. Whatever it is. Or them just curious about stuff. But are there any that students can feel comfortable and confident to go hold a conversation? I know 2 or 3 high schools in Kingston where young people feel confident talking to their guidance counselors. But are there many of that? There's not many of that. There's no curriculum that helps to prepare the teachers, the guidance counselors, and the students, giving them a way to say you can talk to this person if you feel you have these feelings, or if you feel that you are coming into your own and you are confused about your sexual orientation, or you are experimenting, or you are curious and you want to talk to somebody about this. We don't have that in Jamaica. I mean, God, our politicians are afraid to talk about it. And that is where the problem lies. The politicians, them not talking about it, them not facing the problems that facing our young people, who them say are the future. These are the future. These 2 young girls are the future. Every one of them in the high school, they are the future. It's them going to run things. It's them going to do things. It's them going to make us proud. I tell you, I have no feeling of dread about the safety of this country. I have no feeling of dread about the future of this country being in the hands of our current crop of young people. No fear. They are good kids. They are brilliant kids. They know what they are doing and they know what they want. The problem that holds them back are the parents, the churches, and the government, and the politicians' refusal to face issues that affects them. Issues that affect them is not only that them drop out of school because them get pregnant and drop out of school. And she can't seem to find back her way because she got pregnant, and you have this one little place up a Waterloo Road there, so Trafalgar Road, right the corner there, so that deals with young girls that drop out of school and can come there with their babies and then get back in school and all. That's just one little piece. That is just one little drop in the bucket. It doesn't have it don't really have no real impact. 1 or 2 might survive that or might get through that. But it doesn't have no great impact. So the whole thing have to start in the schools and the homes. Parents are still scared stiffless. I mean, some of them don't want to handle it. Some parents don't want to deal with it. Them son is gay, and people are call them son Batman, and people are call them daughter lesbian, and them can't handle it. Cause them, me I go to church, yeah. I'm a God me I serve, and I don't know what God them serving if them not there for them children, to help them children, to walk them children through certain things. Everything that they think that they ought to teach them children, they don't teach them. No, they don't teach the children how to be kind. Of course, them can learn those things from you if them see those things in you. If at a young age them see them mother being kind, and them father being considerate, and them mother being inclusive, and them father being compassionate, they will grow with those instincts. They will grow up with those things. But you can't grow them up to tell them, so don't do that. Hey boy. And they grow them up, and then you choose and select what it is that you think that them should learn. And then suddenly at age 16, somebody, because your son or your daughter not going to tell you, but somebody going to tell you. I had a friend who never knew about him daughter. And boy did he rant and rave. Come for me yard and rant and rave. We are lifelong friends, he and I don't really chat to him since them time there, since him a rant and a rave. Him never knew that about his daughter who went to Holy Childhood High School, brilliant picnic. Never know that she gay. Never know that she like girls. And when it dawned, and when it came to him, I mean, he was walking around like a madman. If me never tell him to take him, what's it, not over me, out of my yard, and go over him yard, and leave the pitney alone, and make up whatever. Him cool now, man, him daughter. But I'm just telling you how they react. Because the child can't come to you. The pitney can't come to you and say to you, listen, may I have these. What is it? Or how is it? Them can't talk to you, and them can't talk to them teachers. And them can't talk to them guidance counselors. And them have principals who put them out of school because the principal say a GIF where them a kiss a girl. Where his only responsibility is not even to call the parents. His first responsibility is to have the two girls with the guidance counselors before you call the parents. So, tell me, girls, what is it you was doing? No one can talk to me. This is a very confidential meeting. Anything you said to me stays right here. And then they would have explained to him what them doing. But he would do that in expectation that if it is something else, he would have been prepared to deal with it. But he's not prepared to deal with it. He's not depend that. He's running a total different gambit at the school. Total different gambit him running at the school. And so our children are the ones who are going to bring this revolution into the schools. You better get with it. It's coming. It's not going. It's coming. More and more young people are going to feel their sexuality. They are going to want to express it. And some of them not be able to contain themselves about it. When that first love comes, I will need to be prepared. But you're not prepared. And that's the problem. I'm not saying that Jamaica should go say, yeah, let us legalize same-sex relationship. But that would be great, but Jamaica don't reach us yet. Jamaica will have to be dragged there, sir. When a good 70 or 80% of the population start traveling, really traveling, and actually observe the world as it is. But the revolution is going to come to the schools one of these days. Mark my words. Unless start putting things in place to prepare yourself for that. Not to ward it off, but to manage it. To have control over it. The schools. The parents and them can't be helped. Because for them pastor and for them old time beliefs and whatever it is that is driving their beliefs and their disgust and their bigotry and their homophobia, everything just roll down on them one time. And them just shame. Shame of them children. Yeah? Them shame of them children. The children that they never taught to be inclusive. The children that they never taught to say, listen, there are various people in life and various things in life. You can choose which one you want to associate yourself with. I'm not a perfect person, a raised picnic, but them raised in an open way and an open environment. And they are excellent, wonderful kids that make their choices in life. They make me proud. They don't choose my lifestyle. They chose their own lifestyle. But what I taught them helped them to also accept other people's lifestyle. Other people's religious beliefs. And that's all we need to teach them. To be accepting. And to be compassionate. And to be kind. That's what we need to teach them. Because if Mr. Williams' parents had taught him that, he would not have done what he did. He would not have been acting the way like a damn jackass in the people in school. Him is thief. Him is dishonest. Him is a terrible, horrible individual. Truly. And so I said to the minister that she have to get this going in terms of creating a school environment where the children that say are the future of this country can feel free and safe to express to their teachers and to their guidance counselor, at least in a safe environment, in a quiet, safe, private environment. Sir, miss, can you help me with this? And this. And know that this is who they are. Now, the minister is well aware of this, and I was surprised. And I think I can say this without, I wonder if I can say this. Yes, I think I can. But she said to me, I'm the very first person who ever bring up this matter with her. And I can't imagine that the minister mustn't have no advisor. But I'm available, minister, if you need an advisor. The minister and no advisors. Because nobody has ever brought this up to her, to say to her that nobody, not a minute, all the bright people them that the ministry with a whole heap of degrees behind them name. None of them have ever sat the minister down and said, listen, minister, this world is moving fast. And we need to be prepared for some things in our school. Because this is what your job is. Not to live in the present, but to prepare also for the future. Not only to live in the present, but to prepare for the future. And the future is on us. And it is the kids who will one day come to the realization of what their sexual orientation is, or come to the realization about some feelings that they have. And it's going to get worse because you're going to be pushing back at them and them going to be pushing back hard at you. And you will not be prepared for it. And it's them going to tear down the whole thing. It is them who are going to tear down the whole thing while the world watches. Because all of you are nincompoops who don't believe that there is a revolution coming. And it is right on our doorstep. And I just thought that while the girls' actions were innocent, totally innocent, there's nothing going on there between them. While that is the case, schools need to be prepared for just in case it is not the case. So Mr. Williams have opened, oh my God, I say, a whoop-ass can of worms. And him can't stay down at St. James High School. I don't see how he does. Now, Damien Crawford is the opposition spokesperson on education. And at first, everybody would think that, Damien Crawford is a good opposition spokesperson and would be a good minister of education. No, I disagree. Vociferously. Because I don't believe that Damien Crawford could handle something like this. Where is he in all of this? And he can't handle these situations. I do believe that because Mrs. Favour Williams has a calm demeanor, and my study of her in terms of body language suggests that she's thoughtful and she takes long to come to conclusions and make decisions, and she is she always seems to be in a frame of mind where she wants to do something or wants to help, but she needs people to help her with that. And that's my analysis of the conversation that we had. Damien Crawford is a good arbiter for education opportunities, and people should stay in school and them should get some CXC. Good arbiter. But I don't know how he could handle something like this. And I can't imagine what he could possibly say in situations like these. But let me conclude by saying I don't know. But should he get this voice note that I'm doing, should he hear what I have to say, I would like to suggest to him that him start thinking about these things and start adding some other things to all of his plans and all of the things that him love to chat about education. Because this part of it is going to upend everything else. Can't say me never ever want to know. Thank you all for listening to my rant. God bless you all. Stay safe, everybody. And let us all endeavor to keep our children safe. Let us all endeavor to keep them safe. Not only from armed and Spanish Town and shooting, not only from that, but in every aspect of their life. Let us endeavor to keep the children safe.